At this point, we left off at page 4. So if you notice, for example, we have little less than 2 pages to in order to put in like the transition from the secondary character asking our main character to to come on, and he's like reluctantly he has this look where I really don't want to go on. um, but the thing is, in order for us to get from this point to like our conclusion, we have to get him sick. So that's something I'm going to be looking for in the sketch portion of this video. I'm sorry, in the sketch portion of these sketches. So I'm going to press the letter Z and I'm going to hold down my option. I'm going to zoom out, and I notice I have a selection. So at this point, I'm going to deselect, and I'm going to look for parts of the story that's going to get us to the part where he needs to get sick. So for the come on part, I see these 2 panels, and I used this one, and I have him dropping his nacho chips. I think it would be a lot smarter for me to expedite this process by simply having this panel combined with this panel. So I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to go to the final template and B for brush, and I notice that my foreground is black, and then my background is white. So I'm going to press the letter X to swap those that color over. So at this point, I'm going to erase him, and then X again to swap it back to black. I'll make my brush size small. It's a little bit too thick. Command Z. Command Z. Command Option Z to go back. And I think a 3-inch brush is pretty good. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to choose lasso, and I'm going to move this character over. And press the letter V as in Vicky, so it allows me to move this over. Oh, and then the reason why that didn't work is because this is page 3. So that's the reason why, even though I selected this object, it's not moving. So page 3, I have to select this panel, and then now I can move this over. So my guess is I may need to move it over here, but I'll see it because I really don't know what is it that I need. Command D to deselect, B for brush, X to swap the color back to white at the top, and it's going to cover this up. At this point, I'm going to press B for brush. I already have B, X, and I'm going to reduce the brush size. If I remember, the last number was 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a trash can. And the reason why it's not painting there is because when I colored this in white, I colored it into another layer that's sitting above there. So we find where that, so that's where I actually drew that. So this layer 1 over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the white that I put here. It's somewhere in there, and it's sitting above page 3. So I'm going to edit, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to go to page 3, and this is where I'm going to paste it. So edit, paste special. The reason why I'm going to paste in place is because it's going to stick right where it used to be, as opposed to sticking in the middle of the frame. So I pasted it in place. It's on its separate layer. I'm going to merge these two together. So I'm going to hold down Shift and select page 3, and then hold down E afterwards and click the letter E, and that merges those two together. So let me rename this so I don't get too lost. Page 3. Page 3, page 5. Let me move page 5 up. And so this is the part where I'm at. So on page 3, B for brush, I'm going to sketch in a little trash can. Well, maybe I should put the trash can maybe back here. And then perhaps like a hand dropping the nachos. So that way we can get rid of these nachos. And this way it looks like he's, right, his foot is somewhere over here, walking towards there. And B for brush, X, and I'm just going to clean up what I have here. So we don't see him, our main character, but I want to combine her telling him to come on and X. This way I combine her, his action of throwing away the chips, his hand, and so he's walking towards her, and I'm going to put maybe like people in line over here. Yeah, I should have. It's all right. No big deal. Make this a little bigger. So in this one frame, we're getting a lot of information. We're going to explain. It explains why in the following panels, why he no longer has his chili cheese chips or fries or whatever we make it, and also shows that there's a line, and it gives our secondary character motivation to hurry up, right? Because she wants to get on this ride, whereas he feels a little reluctant. So let me see what's next. So we know we have her wanting to get on the ride. He has to drop the chips. He has to get in line with her. Then the next page down here, she has to already be on the ride. So we have to start having his stomach, get upset. So this next component, this next panel, I'm going to get this panel, and I got it by clicking the letter Mary. So I hope you see the pattern. I selected that tool. Command C to copy it. Command Vicky to paste it. I need my move tool. It's that tool over there. I'm going to move it into place. So here she is. She's talking about, like, I don't know, whatever random stuff but it's not that important. What's important is that we see that he's getting more and more, like, sick. Let's go back to the next one. And I do know that I want, from this point, we have like a number of these panels right here that we need to stick onto there. Because then by this point, they're already on the ride. So let me go back to here. I think of all these, I really like these, because I know I've been on these kind of carnival rides before, where you have the attendant, like, helping the people get onto the ride. And I know a lot of times this can be sort of uncomfortable. So at this point, I'm going to put this in here. I don't know if this belongs in page 3 or 4. It's these like transition ones that panels that could be a little bit problematic. Let me see. Go back to this one. So it clicks it on, and then what this is like a close-up shot of the bar from his perspective pressing down on his stomach. So I'm going to move this one over. Command T, hold down Shift, and there we go. So, okay, so they're in line, they're talking, and let me see, I don't know if I have a panel where, yeah, I think this one, Mary, Command C, this one, Command Vicky, move tool, and I'm just including this for shot variety because we have 2 wide shots, meaning that we have 2 panels where the character, we can see them from head to toe, and this one's just for variety, and it still is going to communicate the same information. B for brush, and I can make his stomach kind of like grumble, literally, right? Grumble. So now we have to get. So now at this point we have to get him sitting there. So 3 layers in, and Yeah, okay. So I think what I'm going to do, panel right here where you have this attendant. Like, and I think in this case, I am not, I think I'll get, yeah, this attendant, Command C, and then Command Vicky. Let me move this panel over. Command T. I'm going to shrink this down. And here I feel like I'm crowding a lot of panels. Let me see if I could fix this by rearranging what I've been copying and pasting up to this point.